In late 2018, I invested about 10% of my total portfolio into Facebook stock. At the time, the company was still in the thick of the Cambridge Analytica scandal, and public trust in Facebook took a huge hit. Regulators have since increased oversight, and billions of dollars in fines followed. As a result, Facebook shares dropped more than 30%. But with my understanding of the company's financial position, marketing potential, and technologies, I swooped in. And fast forward to the recent market drop, I almost doubled down on the position. So as much as many people love to hate Facebook, it's built out a robust ecosystem of platforms, including Messenger, Instagram, WhatsApp, and many others. Getting down to the brass tacks, Facebook has improved billions of lives around the world. And one of the biggest ways, the company has made keeping in contact with friends, families, and communities much easier and more enjoyable. Now, before we dive deeper into why I invest in Facebook stock, I really want to hit this first point home. Anyone can use Facebook's core platforms for free, and no one is forced to do so. There are plenty of alternatives. But people continue to use Facebook's services, and that speaks volume to the quality and ease of use. Sure, Facebook and Mark Zuckerberg have misstepped, but when running a company with over 2.6 billion monthly active users, I expect public criticism and mistakes. In fact, I'd be worried if I didn't see any big mistakes. And ultimately, I believe in the steps that the company is taking to fix its issues, as well as preventing future problems. Now, before we get into the good stuff, I'd really appreciate it if you just tap the like button down below, as well as subscribe to my channel. That way, when I do make a new investment, you'll be the first to know. I also share a lot of other unique research. And if you've already subscribed, thanks for sticking around. All right, so Facebook stock follows advertising revenue. And Facebook's revenue has climbed from just under $2 billion in 2010 to over $70 billion in 2019. That's a 3,489% increase in less than 10 years. And I expect 2020 revenue to grow to maybe around $78 billion, even with the economic shutdown. One big trend in the advertising world has unlocked this growth, and it's going to push revenue even higher. The trend I'm talking about is the improvement in targeted advertising. Facebook has more personalized data than Google. This is allowing Facebook to improve its ad targeting, and advertisers can hone in on customers to get more bang for their buck. To put this change in perspective, here's a quote from John Wanamaker, an early pioneer in marketing. "Half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half." This quote comes from over 100 years ago, and it shows the drastic change in advertising, or more so, analytics. Businesses can now track how effective their spending is down to the cent, and a cent today is worth a heck of a lot less than it was back then. Facebook has a huge advantage with its user data that it collects from its websites and apps. Other mediums such as TV, billboards, and radio broadcasts simply aren't as effective. So continued improvements in targeted advertising should push Facebook's revenue and stock higher, hopefully. And Zuckerberg is not resting on his laurels. Some of Facebook's newer projects and acquisitions are putting the company ahead of the curve. Before we look at those ventures and that innovation, let's look at just one more financial chart. Facebook's growing free cash flow has allowed the company to pile up a war chest of cash. It's also good to note that debt was near zero for most of this time frame, although over the last few years, Facebook has issued about $10 billion in debt. That's less than a quarter of total cash, and with interest rates so low, issuing debt can make more sense. Overall, the company's financial position is strong, and the cash reserve provides a wide safety net. It also helps the company make big acquisitions to protect and expand its market share in different areas. Facebook is really investing in the future. It's expanding in many industries, but I'm going to just highlight two areas. These ventures might add billions to Facebook's revenue and possibly even trillions of dollars. They will take many years to play out, but it's a good thing I'm a long-term investor. All right, so one project I'm most excited about is Libra. It's Facebook's jump into cryptocurrency. There's been a lot of regulatory pushback from around the world, but Facebook is dedicated to doing it right. It won't roll out Libra until there's regulatory approval. And if Facebook can get a better foot in the payments industry, that's huge. I worked with a cryptocurrency company in Beijing close to 5 years ago. And to say the least, I have some unique insight, and we'll link to a video on why Bitcoin won't work as a major currency in the comments down below. When it comes to creating a successful currency, wide adoption is vital, and Facebook is one of the few companies that has the potential to make that happen. Now, the second area that I'm interested in, or it's more so two areas, it's gaming and virtual reality. The video game industry is growing, and Facebook is starting to claim a bigger stake. It's had success with mobile games in the past, but it's expanding its gaming services. To compete with Amazon's Twitch, Facebook rolled out a live video game streaming platform. On the gaming side, Facebook's acquisition of Oculus, a virtual reality company, also ties in. It's in early stages, but the potential is huge, and not only in the gaming industry. I think the potential is so huge that I might dedicate an article and video to the VR industry down the road, so stick around. Facebook is expanding in many other areas that have great potential. The company recently plopped down, I think, $400 million for Giphy. It's a company that lets users share short looping videos without sound. That might seem like a big amount for likely an unprofitable company, but it will give Facebook it's going to give Facebook insight into early trends forming. Facebook is also expanding in many other areas that have great potential. It recently invested $5.7 billion into Jio, an India-based telecom network. Overall, I'm excited to see how the company expands over the coming years, and hopefully my Facebook stock will show some solid returns, yours as well if you invest. In fact, Facebook is the only non-dividend paying company that I own, but if things go well, that could easily change in the years to come. Now, I appreciate that you stopped by today and would really, really like it if you just tap the like button down below, as well as subscribe to my channel. Please let me know if you have any comments or questions.